Okay, welcome to today's transmission, and I am so happy that you know you you are here, whether you be catching this by recording or you are live here with us. Know that this is a transmission. So with transmissions, I always like to prepare people to say, when you listen to what I am saying, listen to it from your soul. Listen, don't engage your mind, yes, but listen to me from here, because most of it is obviously we are going into the soul of the womb and we are going into the spirit of the womb. So now the program that we are going to have is called Womb Detox and Remapping. So I called it a womb detox and remapping because, I couldn't say everything that's going to be happening, in the program. But what is actually going to be happening in the program is that we're going to detox, we're going to remap, but most of the program is really about releasing trauma, releasing shame, releasing being limited, releasing old seed, releasing things that are keeping you, to not operate in your highest timeline. And all these words that I'm saying now, your highest timeline and so on, I have this masterclass because I want to explain, I want to tell you what is it that I'm talking about. So before we go into, before we go into all of it, I want us to start with you understanding how your womb is, how it's structured. And when I say structure, I am talking about the structure of, the making, how it is made. I'm not talking about the organ. I am talking about the different levels of your womb. So with your womb, you have the organ, yes, and whether you have it or not, but you still have a womb, okay? You have the organ, and then you have the soul of the organ, and then you have the spirit of the organ, okay? So which means that your womb has got a consciousness. Your womb has got a consciousness. Your womb has got a spirit, and that spirit is this. The spirit of the womb is what I think, what I would say the program, the 21-day program, is going to be focusing on. It's also going to be focusing on the soul of your womb. Now, what usually happens, not usually happens, it's just the way it is made, that's just the principle of things, is that your womb influences your emotions. Your womb influences your emotional body, meaning that the consciousness of your womb then seeds into your emotional body. Sorry, I have a call coming in and I'm in class, sorry about that. So the consciousness of your womb seeds into your emotional body. And then you start experiencing emotions. Then some of them, you don't know where they come from. Some of them are reoccurring emotions. Some of them, they feel like they are emotions that you've been experiencing your entire life. It doesn't matter whether you go for psychological help or whether you go for coaching, but these emotions are just there. These emotions are just, they are there, they are reoccurring. When you experience that, then we have to look at the consciousness of your womb. We have to look at how your womb is seeding your emotional body. Okay, so sometimes sometimes if it's not just your emotional body that is being triggered, it is also your pain body. So if it's not just your emotional body, your pain body can also be triggered, meaning that those things that I call injuries, when they turn into wounds, then they transfer to be a pain body. Okay, so another thing that I'm gonna be going into, yes, it is the consciousness of your emotional body and also the consciousness of your pain body. What is registered in your pain body? What is it that your pain body, what is it that your pain body really carries? Because sometimes we just go through emotions, we go through pain, we go through traumas, and we don't understand, we don't have this, the structure, we don't understand the consciousness, which is the masculine of your pain body, or you don't understand the masculine of your emotions. So everything kind of goes into, you know, into form, not structure. So in this 21 days, you're going to go into the structure of your emotional body, the structure of your pain body, but more than anything, we're going to go into the programming of your womb, because your womb is programmed, and your womb is programmed because you've been seeded. Your womb is seeded, okay? So it doesn't matter whether you know what is seeding you or what is not seeding you. Oxalayo, your womb is seeded. Your womb is seeded. And with your womb being seeded, I want to go into how the seed principle works. We have to be seed conscious. Why do we have to be seed conscious? It is because I have come across, and I wrote about this in one of the posts as I was advertising the program. I said that I have met women who are very wise, women, you know, who are strong, powerful women, you know, and not in a sense just strong Black woman, but just women who are strong, women who are able to build, women who, you know, who you know, who are strong. You know, I guess everyone understands the kind of woman that I'm talking about. But you find that these women live in misery. They are sad. You know, there is a deep-seated sadness in them. There is a deep-seated cold, you know, like when you talk to them, you feel it, you know, you get it. No, but there is misery here. And I got to understand, you know, and I used to be one of those women, you know, who looked like they have everything, but in fact, not looked like, women who just have everything, but you are sad, you are miserable, you just feel like, oh my God, I don't know when, you know, when am I gonna be happy? I don't know when am I gonna feel content, you know? And because I have been doing womb work for, you know, the past 10 years or so, in fact, I've been doing womb work since you know, from home, because my mom is a womb healer, my grandmother, and so on. But I obviously had to take it a step higher, you know, by educating myself and learning how my generation is doing it. So I went into different schools of the womb. I went into the lunar, which is the moon transmission or modality of the womb. And lately I've been working a lot with the sun, the solar, you know, modality of the womb. And with that, then because it's the solar, it's the sun, then I've been working also with the seed consciousness. So what I was saying is that, you know, you would meet these women who look like they have everything, who are wise, but there is just something that is lacking. You know, there is just something. They feel like they are just working like a sausage machine. You know, they are producing, but there is no consciousness and there is no fulfillment in what they are doing. And when I went into studying exactly what that is, I found that it is because of how their wombs are programmed, and the programming of the womb comes through the seed. So what happens is that when the seed enters a womb, it leaves data in it, it leaves information in it, and that information then programs the womb. And most of our mothers, most of the women, even us, you know, women, our generation, we have to work on the seeding of our womb. We have to remap our wombs. We have to, you know, bring a different programming into our womb spaces. Now, with the womb and clearing of the womb from, from old seed. Some years ago there used to be a thing, you have to cut the cords, or you have to work on, disconnecting yourself from the previous relationships and so on and so forth. Well, it worked, okay, it worked. But in an actual fact, it worked because, that I think that was the medicine of that time. It was the medicine that was connected to the lunar, to the moon, and you find that after some time, that particular person who has done that work, they engage in another relationship, but that relationship, it's just a different phase, but the same experience. It is just a different phase, but it is the same experience, even though they have done coding work and so on and so forth. And that is what led me to actually want to investigate this further. And I have found that the last seed that you carried can speak, it can speak into your life. It can still create into your life for about 7 years. If proper work is not done, if proper detoxing is not done, if proper deprogramming and remapping is not done, it can speak into your life. It can create spaces. It can create experiences. You ask yourself, oh, how did this happen? Why am I still experiencing this? Why is this happening? And it is because you didn't do a proper detox, but all you did was to do cord cutting. All you did was to do, the work of who cut the cords, the spiritual path and so on. But in an actual fact, you need to reprogram. You need to call in a different seed that is going to program your womb so that you are able to experience new things. Okay. And when you do that, one, your body becomes reprogrammed, your nervous system becomes reprogrammed, and also you start experiencing new experiences. You start experiencing new experiences, because one thing about the seed is that when it is in your womb, when it is programmed in your womb, it's still transmitting its consciousness into your reality. Okay, it's still penetrating your field with its consciousness. So what happens is that your womb is just carrying this program that comes from this seed, and all it does is to keep on giving birth to things that are coming from that seed. We really have to be seed conscious, and seed consciousness is what I'm going to be teaching in the 21-day program. You have to understand different levels and types of masculinity. Let me not say masculinity, but of the masculine, because when I say masculinity, then I'm talking about something else. Masculinity is divine. In fact, when you hear people saying toxic masculinity, there is nothing like toxic masculinity. Masculinity or femininity is spirit. It is divine. You can never say it is toxic. Okay. Right. So that is what the program is about. I want to speak or to work with women who are in a collapsed state. Women, the last seed that seeded with them, put them in a space of collapse. It put them in a space of shut doors where no other man can be able to come. And, there are some seeds, let me tell you something. There are some seeds, when they come into your womb, what they do is that they collapse you. After they've collapsed you, they shut the doors, they shut your fields, no other seed can come and seed you. So you know those people in the relationship some time ago, and they are still nobody's approaching them, nothing is happening, money is collapsing, everything is just collapsing. Okay, so we need to detox that. So that you come out of the pain programs of the womb. And when I say, when I talk about the seed that collapses, it is because there is seed that elevates, but you have to learn, you have to know, you have to hear, you have to see, you have to be able to gauge yourself. But after this seed entered me, what happened? And if certain things are happening, you need to cut it. You need to cut it. You need to cut it. So that's what's going to be happening in a 21-day program, learning about different seeds, knowing and seeing different, seeing it. This is while it's still coming, no, this is not going to enter me. There are people who have or maybe Leona, I should leave it. No, let me say it here. There are people who have children with men who left them bleeding emotionally, who left you bleeding heavily. Your heart is sore, like when you think about it. And the thing is, you coach yourself, or you go into healing spaces. Sometimes you don't coach yourself, but you go into healing spaces that helps you to forgive. Okay, so the mind has forgiven, obviously we have new experiences and so on and so forth. But deep down, when you go deep down into your soul, when you go deep down into the soul of your womb, even, you are still stuck. And what happens is that you keep recreating the same experiences. Why? Because a semen carries data. A semen carries information. Once that information goes into your womb, it becomes an imprint. It becomes an imprint of unresolved traumas of that the carrier of the seed. It becomes an imprint of some darker aspects of that particular cedar. Let me call them a cedar. Darker aspects where darker aspects that affect you emotionally, that affect you mentally, darker aspects that makes you feel like, oh my God, why do I feel so low? You are depressed, and so on and so forth. And I'm not saying this because I'm saying it's all fault, the cedar. I'm not taking responsibility from you. So if it is not in your present individual experience, it could also be from your mother's, or it could also be from your mother's mother. So in this regard, I'm going to be working with 3 generations. I'm going to be working with you and your mother and your mother's mother, because some of these things are epigenetic. They come into your life, but they are not yours. Your life or your reality or your experience only reproduces the same experiences, but only to find that they are not necessarily yours. So I'm going to be working with 3 generations, and I'm going to be working with any low lunar seed that is disrupting your frequency. Okay, so another thing that I wanted to know more, womb energy hijacking. There are a lot of women who are walking around, but their womb energy is hijacked. Their womb energy is hijacked. It is giving birth to consciousness that they did not even know that they are signing up for that type of consciousness. You didn't even know that you are signing up for some lunar consciousness. So when I talk about lunar consciousness, remember in the beginning, I spoke about the solar, which is the sun. I also spoke about the moon, which is lunar. So remember that the moon is not organic light. the moon takes light from the sun, okay? You know, the moon takes light from the sun. It doesn't hold its organic light. So, which means that anything that comes from that low masculine, anything that comes from lunar, it doesn't carry, you know, organic a timeline. And that is why you find yourself in a collapsed state. That is why you find yourself in your highest or the right timeline. Why? Because low masculine. I know you've been taught that the moon is feminine, but the moon is both feminine and it is also masculine. And when the masculinity of the womb penetrates you, it goes straight into your water body and it pulls your water body. And after it's pulled your water body, then it drops you. And that's why during full moon, you have to do proper work on yourself. You have to hydrate, you have to pray, you have to protect yourself, because the moon does that, okay? It penetrates your water body. The feminine is a water, a water body, if I may call it that. So the lunar masculine is always targeting the feminine. It's targeting your water body. It's targeting your emotional body. It's targeting everything that has to do with your fluidity and so on. So in one of the posts, I spoke about force of gravity. I spoke about force of gravity and the moon. And without going too deep into that, because that is part of the lesson, without going too deep into it, I want to make you aware that force of gravity is an effect. And that is why when people have done deep spiritual work, they are able to defy it. They are able to, you know, we hear of people flying, we hear that is because it is an effect, you know. But if you are, if there's, you know, you are connected to a certain matrix, your womb is connected to a certain matrix. And to be direct, if your womb is connected to a lunar matrix, then force of gravity will always pull. It will pull your money. You will gravitate, okay? Your money will be pulled. You will gravitate. Your love life will be pulled. You'll gravitate. Your mission will be pulled. You will gravitate. You will think, oh, okay, here I am. I'm manifesting, because manifestation is also a masculine principle. Money is a masculine principle. You know, relationships are a masculine principle. So when you or if you do not work yourself into the right grid, which is the grid of the solar, which is the grid of the sun, you will find that you are always pulled, you are always gravitating. And something is coming, oh, it's coming, that whoosh, you can't hold anything in your hands. And that's why we need to do this work. That's why we need to do reprogramming. That is why we need to clear. That is why we need to remap. That is why we need to put new information in our wombs so that we reprogram our wombs. Do you have any questions so far? So far, so good. Okay, level. All right, so if there are no questions, are there any comments? How are you experiencing what I've just said? Okay. All right. If there is no comments, I will carry on. I will carry on. Now, here is something that usually happens with women. You find most women looping into the same thing. You find that they are looping into the same thing. They are looping. How can they are looping? You know, you are working on something that you are working on a wound, you are working on pain, you are working on something that you are aware of, right? You work on it, you work on it, you work on it, and you go to programs and so on. And then after that, you find yourself right at the same place again. You know, you are hitting the same, or there is something that has come to ignite or to trigger that pain. Okay, so that timeline of looping also, the timeline of looping is connected to the consciousness of your womb. The timeline of experiencing same thing, one thing after the other, one thing after the other, it is because you are experiencing you know, you are looping because there is no rod in your womb. There is no masculine in your womb. There is no proper masculine programming in your womb. Now remember that the teaching that we have around the womb is that it is feminine, and even those who are in the space of womb healing, they always talk about the feminine. They always talk about, you know, the flow of the feminine and so on, but nobody brings in the masculine of the womb. So in the 21-day program, from day one, your homework is that you are going to be working with the masculine. You are going to be working with the masculine. Around June, I am planning to do a program or an event of that is going to be around healing the inner child and the father, because that is very important. That is very important to go into a program or a running system within your consciousness or within your awareness. It is very important to go into that, to go into the father line and to heal the father line. The 21-day program is actually going to introduce a lot of that, you know, working with the father line, connecting your father line. When I talk about your father line, yes, maybe I'm talking about your biological father and so on and so forth, but I am also talking about, you know, the high masculine. I'm talking about masculinity. I'm talking about masculinity that is in you, you know, or you have to fortify it. You have to fortify the masculinity that is in you. You have to fortify the masculinity that is in your womb space. You have to fortify the masculinity in your mind. You have to fortify the masculinity in your heart, and also the masculinity in your womb space. That is very important. So for those who are going to register, I am going to give you a form. I'm going to email you a form, and in that form you are going to do some work. You know, it's workshop, not workshop, pre-program work, where you are going to note down all the things that are going to be on that form. It is important, you know, that you do it, because then you have a direction of what you are working on. You are able to go straight into the things that are in your awareness. Now remember that because we are talking about spirit, We are talking about the spirit of the womb. We are talking about the spirit of the masculine. We are talking about, then it means that there is an altar somewhere. It means that you will be required to pray. You will be required to go to God. In fact, here in this space, we don't do shadow work outside God, because that is another thing that has caused a lot of people to look into their wounds, because they do shadow work outside God. Okay, so this means that you are coming into a space where you are going to be praying, where you are going to be calling in, where you are going to be calling in, where you're going to be doing decrees to clear to clear your bloodline, to clear the wombs of your mother, to clear the wombs of your grandmothers even. I want to let you know, the work that we are doing is very, it's doable. It is doable. It is doable. It is not deep. There is deep work. And because all the classes or the courses that I'm gonna be creating from now on, people who are going to engage in them, they have to do it. They're going to be sequential, sequence. You start with this class, you go to the next class, you go, so that you don't just go into the third level without doing this first level, and then you drop out or things happen there and so on and so forth. So that is what we are going to be doing. Another thing that I'm going to be going into is to go into sex and, where is it? I'm going to be going into sex and the programming of the, let me just check. This is for another program. Yes, I'm gonna be going into that. We're gonna go into sex and, okay, we're gonna go into sex and the womb. We're gonna go into different types of sex, the 2 types of sex, surrendered sex, and also we're gonna go into forced penetration, which can also leave an imprint in a woman's womb. We are definitely gonna go into that. The reason why we have to go into that, it is because sometimes you think that you went through a sexual trauma and you have healed from it. Kanti, you need to detox it. Kanti, you need to face it. You need to detox it so that you experience new experiences, so that you have new experiences. And the thing about being violation is that even what you think is not violation can be violation. The consciousness of the womb is independent, and it is not the same as your mind. Okay, so you can be violated. When as an adult you consented, but your womb had not consented. Your womb did not give consent, and that is registered in your body as violation. Now that violation then gives birth to other violations. It gives birth to other violations here and there in your workplace, wherever. Now, it's not that violation, you are violated here, you are violated, So we're going to go into that. We're going to go into deception. A lot of women have experienced deception in their lives, the masculine that come to deceive, that comes with deception. Where does it come from? You know, we're going to go into the layers. We're going to peel the layers of that deception that you've been experiencing. Where does it come from? You know, where does it come from? Because nothing just happens in J because it's happening. Nothing just happens because we're not, oh, shame. You look, things happen to you, okay? And we have to be sensitive, you know, to the fact that things do happen to you, but some of the things happen for you. So we have to go into, you know, the two aspects of the one case, you know, of the one issue, if you understand what I'm saying. So yeah, that is what we're gonna go into. We're also gonna go into, we'll touch a bit on money, we'll touch a bit on mission, we'll touch a bit, you know, on manifestations. And when I say we'll touch a bit, it is because when you start doing this work, everything then follows you, you know, everything follows you. And this is not a high promise or an overreached promise or you know, those, no, it is not that. It is not that at all. It is not that at all. When you start doing this work, you will see how the masculine in your space starts to become helpful. You will see also how provision, you know, just comes into your life. You are provided for, okay? You will also see how your mission just comes together. You will see how, you know, if you were in a wrong timeline mission-wise, you will see how you will be directed into the correct timeline. And when you start working in the correct timeline, speed is an advantage. When you are in the right timeline, speed is an advantage. You will always, oh my God, Mudimo Udaufa speed, you know, as long as you are in the right timeline. So this work is not just work, let us connect with the womb. Oh, no, it's not that type of work. It is work that is really aimed at going beyond being woke about matters of that. There's a lot of internet womb work, you know, that can be, you can Google Watola womb work, Watola somebody who says, no, I'm a womb healer, and so on and so forth. And in fact, let me not talk about other people. Let me talk about here. All I'm telling you is that this is not internet work. This is work of spirit. This is work that, you know, that comes from very high dimensions, if I may call it that. And this is also work that is going to connect you deeper and deeper and deeper with God. This is the work that's going to connect you deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper with God. There are other technologies that are in you that will be restored. There are other technologies that are in you that will be able to connect you to the voice of God, because your womb is a space of wisdom. It is a space, your process. It is a space that is supposed to hear. You know, it is a space that is supposed to process. It is a space that is supposed to process. But if anywhere it is blocked, if your womb is blocked, if your womb is programmed to be shut down, if your womb is programmed to be for you to be collapsed, I'm telling you, you'll start having a God wound. You'll say, I've been praying and praying and nothing is happening. Kanti, it's not Mpore Mudimu is not you know, responding, or it is not Mudimu is not hearing you, but it is just that there is work that you have to do. You have to do soul work. You have to individuate before you spiritize. Okay, this is a masterclass. I'm not preaching. So do you have any questions? Any comments you have? Sorry about that. Any questions? Any questions? No questions? Yes, ma. Be revived. Be revived. Be revived. Be revived. Be revived. Let me tell you something. You know, when you know her words I see it. When somebody speaks into your life, or when you are listening to someone, know that that person is planting seeds into your being, into your psyche, into your field. So it's either those words will uplift you, it's either those words will revive you, or it's either those words will put you in a descending timeline. So this is a space of ascension. It is a space, a high timeline. It is a space, elevation. And you will be elevated. Every class, you will feel like, oh my God, let me go take on the world. You will feel that way. There is someone, I think it's Sips, on I missed it, so more Sips, yes. You can unmute and or you can just type in the chats.
Good evening, Muruti. I just wanted to know, for those that are, I'm currently working full time and I'm a student. So I just wanted to know, in terms of time, how nahana per day, how much time would one need to be able to do this course fully? I know it's a bit of a...
Mommy, help me.
Okay, how much time will you need a day to be able to do this work?
Yes, I know it's a bit of a silly question, because I suppose it depends on what, you unpack as an individual, but what is feasible, what's realistic for me?
Okay, so this goes, or it is tied into your devotion time. You will see that most of the work that you are going to do is the work where you are correcting consciousnesses that are in you. For instance, I spoke about fortifying the Christ and understanding what the Christ is, fortifying that architecture within you, So it is work that is going into your devotion time. And I also want to say that in order for the work to not be just head-centric, you have to put in time for devotion. You have to put in time, to actually to pray. And prayer is not sitting in one place and who connector, in a certain place. I spoke about an altar, but an altar, we are moving altars, we are moving altars. What is just mind-blowing about this is that you will remember, your soul, once you engage the consciousness of your womb, once you engage your soul will remind you that there will be things that will come up, and you will find that, I have no other choice but to work on this thing. I have no other choice but to feel into this thing, to bring it, and to face it and to work with it until it dissolves, or until it loses its grip over my life. So it's actually devotion. It is devotion.
I'm answered loud and clear. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Yes, when you are in the right timeline, speed is an advantage. You will never go wrong. You'll never go wrong. Even you won't work as hard. You know, you don't work as hard. You put in the work, yes, you know, but you put in the work as a, you know, as a container. You have to build a container so that spirit can be able to flow within a set container. So this work is going to bring you into you know, into you becoming a container and not just going up form, you know, but there is formation of something, but there is no proper structure. So that is the work that we are doing. Third generation, and work into everything that your mothers and your mothers' mothers, you know, have been things that are coming online, and you don't know why are they coming online, and you don't understand, why did this happen? Why am I behaving? Why did that happen? Why am I behaving like this? Why do I feel like this thing that's happening here doesn't make sense, and yet it's happening, you know? Those traumas that come, which I call them interrelational traumas. You know, when you think that you have worked yourself, you are okay, until you get into a relationship, and then things starts coming online. So you are going to work on all those things. I'm excited about this. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it, especially because you are going to, your manifestations will have identity in spirit, because you have now worked on the masculine. You worked on the father. The father line will be corrected. We have to correct the father line. We have to. We have to fortify it. We have to restore it. We have to understand what is the running system. What is it that is a running system, the controlling system? There are people, by Longhore, even today, since you would see that relationship 3 years ago, but it is still a running system in your life. Since you see that relationship 5 years ago, but it is still a running system in your life. Kapel, today, okay, from the dead, but I believe even today, you are going, you even today, there are people, you know, who are in marriage, but they are still having memories of the past. There's still a running system of that person, you know, maybe 3 before you got married. No. Important one before we close. I know that we said we close at 1 o'clock. Body twin flame. You know, those people who say this person was brought to me by my ancestors, and then that person shows them flames. The person who say this person was brought to me by whoever, you know, body twin flame, body what. Those who were left bleeding emotionally, those who were left, those who were left body financially drained, emotionally drained, mentally drained. Those are the people who are supposed to come here. But by the people who were with spiritual snipers, you know, spiritual sniper, they go straight into your the mind of your spirit man, and they snipe. Those are the people that I want in this program. A sniper, and they leave you bleeding. they leave you bleeding. But after that, they become a controlling system. And after that, they leave you, you are collapsed. You are not able to say, you are collapsed, and that's it. Let me respect your time so that when I call you again next time, you are able to come because you know what, I keep time. I'm sure the congregants of Gathering of Waters are very impressed with me right now because I kept time. So we have 5 minutes. If you have any questions, please ask. Hi, Lebo.
Hi, good evening, May. Thanks. I'm still not clear on the structure of the program because I did understand that there'll be individual work. So I also hear you talking about classes that we will need to attend. So can you please just elaborate further on how this is going to work? Thank you.
Okay. All right. So the 21-day program is a online program. We will meet on the 3rd, we'll meet on the 10th, and also on the 17th. I think it's the 17th. Okay. So we meet like this on those days. And every time after class, you get homework. In this space, we call homework inner activation. So you go and you do that inner activation. But obviously, because we will have a container where we're going to put everyone, a group where we're going to put everyone, then we feedback as to this is what I'm experiencing. How are you experiencing it? And so on and so forth. And we support each other within that 21 days. So that is how the structure is. After and I want to have a closing date for registration. I want to have a closing date for registration. I think the closing date for registration will be last day of May, the last day of May, so that we have the 2 days. Will that be enough though? Can I see? Polly, can you check for me what day is last day of May?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, the 31st.
I didn't reach. Okay, Tuesday. Let's do our last day of Tuesday, and then we are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All right. Yeah, I read the closing date to be on Tuesday, the last day of the month. But it means that if you pay later, then the pre-work, you're gonna have to do it within 2 days. So if you pay Kabodi 20, or even tomorrow, then you have more work to do the necessary work. I will try not to drag the dates, where you do pre-work and then you're only gonna start, in 20 days. Spongide, at a cost, it is 1,347. That is the cost. That is how much it is. So I will try to not drag it. Can we check, Hore, what is the 22nd? What day is it?
It's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday. All right, let's put it for then the 22nd. From the 22nd, everyone who will be paying from now will get their homework, their pre-21 days work. And then, yeah, so let me just say from the 22nd, that work will be ready, and then you will work on it. You have about 8 days, 10 days to work on it. 10 days is good. So that's that. Are we good? Okay. All right.
Yes,
so this has been uplifting. Thank you, Ma. Thank you. Thank you. let's see here. Costs, and yeah, I think we answered everything. We have answered everything. So that is us for today. Reach out to WhatsApp if you need to find more information. So how it works is that you pay into the account that was given. We'll put it up. We're gonna put the adverts again for the third. So we'll put it up, and then we will get what was I saying about accounts? Yes, so we'll put out the accounts, and then those who are paying will pay, and then give us the proof of payment. Email events@masofia.com, and then we will talk by email. If email is just a lot for you, we have WhatsApp, and the WhatsApp is on the email that you received, and all the other emails that you're gonna receive. I'm trying to read the chats while I'm. You're welcome, Lambi, thank you. I'm trying to read the chats while I'm. So thank you so much. Thank you for coming, Galibua.